I love the direction of everything that has happened this offseason. Right when A.J. Brown was traded for. From that point on, I got it. The rest of the offseason made sense. But Peter Schrager, who's really good at doing this, made me mad again today, and is just creating this fan fiction with all of showing this Eagles front office as it's this large juggernaut of talent. And it has been since, 2016, since Howie came out of the broom closet. Can I just try and find this and read this awful Peter Schrager fan fiction novel? Because
sure.
I feel as though if you close your eyes and I'm just going to read this in the most voice ever, but listen to this bullshit. The Eagles have become the gold standard in identifying, cultivating, and developing front office talent. Year after year, talented, bright minds go on to jobs elsewhere. The front office tree out of Philadelphia in recent years is beyond impressive. Sounds like a goddamn wine label.
It sounds like an episode of Planet Earth. Like, can we get that British guy to read that? That would be amazing.
Jeez.
Every year, the Philadelphia Eagles flock to other franchises.
And then others blossom right in front of them, like they're just growing on trees. And everyone goes to the Philadelphia Eagles because Howie steals their idea. They know they can't be a general manager, and they know everybody wants to know what's going on inside the Philadelphia Eagles. I guess to a point, great, fantastic. Then why do I yell at him so much? Why do I fucking hate him all the time? Why do you hate him all the time? We're constantly yelling at this front office to do the right things. And I'm not saying they didn't this year. They absolutely did. But if they're so great at cultivating talent, why aren't they better at it?
What do you mean, why aren't they better at it?
Number one team in drafting, cap, trades. Like, if they are the gold standard of the league, where's the goddamn results?
Well, cap and trade. That's 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. That's meatloaf, baby. That's meatloaf.
Howie Roseman since he's been the Philadelphia Eagles. We knew that already.
Okay, so that's great. So look, every year for 15 years, LeBron James could have won the MVP of the NBA. He didn't because people got bored of seeing it all the time. What else is new? What else is interesting?
What am I
Who else can we support?
One Super Bowl, and I've got to kiss their ass?
Yeah, playoff appearances basically every year. The only times they haven't made it, they've been horrifically injured or the coaching staff kind of stunk after the Super Bowl.
When's the last time they felt like a contender in the playoffs?
Well, it's been a couple of years. Yeah, because they've been injured like crazy. And then they had the year with Wentz where he got concussed because Jadeveon Clowney threw a cheap shot in a playoff game and hit him in the back of the head. Could they have beaten Seattle? Would they feel like contenders then? Where's this whole arc if he doesn't get hit in that cheap shot? I have no idea. I mean, Wentz was a whole different man for that stretch. Those last 4 or 5 games of that season, it fell apart. So you had to rebuild, but they did it on the fly. They, again, more dead cap money than any team's ever had in the history of the NFL, and they made the playoffs with a second-round quarterback, and second-round quarterbacks generally, they suck. Let's be real. Like, Derek Carr is one of the few good second-round quarterbacks. Yeah. Andy Dalton for that stretch, as much as you didn't like him, I'm an Andy Dalton guy, if you will. We both have red hair. It's fine.
Exactly.
For what he is a second-rounder, especially early in Cincy, he was fine. But second-round quarterbacks don't turn into anything. In the scale of second-round quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts is pretty damn good.
An Andy Dalton guy, but he just said he's fine.
Ultimately, he's fine. Yeah, he was a good game manager.
That's the ringing endorsement.
Yeah, he was a good game manager. It's fine. You know, he's fine. Yeah. They had a good defense and everything was fine. Go back and Google the Bengals in 2012. Anyway, looking at where they are to transition the way that they have, we're now, like, we were talking about the offensive core and what is it? This team is built offensively for the next 5 years, 7 years.
Yeah.
Left tackle, right tackle, guard, center, backup center right now. You got a couple of running backs that you like. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. That's a core for at least 5 years. That's a team.
It is. It's a team that has potential, that can do all those things. It's corrected itself. But when I think of a gold standard and when I think of, like, this is the team that represents in terms of all of that, you never do a deal with Howie Roseman. Done. Got it. Understood it since the beginning of time. Where is the Dallas Cowboys, like, 4 years in a row of drafting? Maybe that's what we're going through right now. Who knows? If this class plus last class ends up hitting, I probably got to change my tune a little bit and say, yeah, I guess they are.
Well, but who goes through that in general anymore? Like, who's the gold standard of anything right now? Nobody wins like that outside of the Patriots, which we saw, which, again, Brady took less money than anybody else, and it's the biggest advantage in the history of football, and they don't count. So there is nobody else like them. It changes every year. Parity of the league is completely insane. The Rams are the team right now, and they've won 1. So they got to another. They won 1. And who knows what they're going to do? They spent all this money again. They might be cap broke in 2 years. It might not affect them because the whole thing balloons. Otherwise, the Baltimore Ravens, they've been a gold standard, right?
I would
they
say
won one.
they're more gold standard of the league than everybody else. But again, every fan loves pretty much every player that they draft. So I don't know if that's good or not.
Yeah, but Steelers also same division, gold standard, never a losing season with Mike Tomlin, right? Like, is that the gold standard? They won Super Bowl. With Mike Tomlin, it's one. So, yes, like as a front office, yes, this is the gold standard. In terms of the other teams that are the best in the league at what they do, he's right at that level. Every single year he changes coaches, he changes quarterbacks. Now they're changing systems, and you still think they're going to make the playoffs.
Well, I just don't think, but in that, the Steelers also dominated a division for that time for the most part. I mean, like, the Eagles have not been able to do that since Andy Reid. So forgive me for not, like, I think they've done great things, and I think they're always on that second tier. They're probably ahead a lot of whatever the new scouting is, to your point. Maybe there isn't a such thing as a dynasty in football anymore. Maybe it's all just fucking 3-year windows and that's it. You know, the QB carousel that keeps going on, they've adapted that, I think, better than anybody. So I'm not trying to put them down. When people say that, it irks the hell out of me. Like it's you can smell I want more information from you, Howie, so I'm presenting it to you in this way.
Who said gold standard first?
It happened a long time ago. Jeffrey Lurie did it.
He said
Jeff?
it a long time
With
ago.
Andy,
I think it was the Andy era. He called them the gold standard.
And then we stunk after that.
Yeah, and then the Dream Team happened,
Then it was,
and then there was Muck,
Chip
and then
Kelly happened, and
So this is a cursed term then.
it is. Oh, people look at it, and if you bring it up like that, people go, "Oh yeah," like yeah, oh yeah.
I think it's negative.
It's a clouded term now, but for what Lurie said and what they've been really long term in this 20-year period, yeah, gold standard.
Yeah, since he's been around, we can absolutely say that. I would say that as an owner, yes.
2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 win in the last 20 years. What, 5, 6 NFC Championship games? They've gone to at least the second round of the playoffs. What, 10 times in 20 years? 7 times in 20 years? Somewhere in that range. I mean, that's gold standard football.
Yeah,
It just is.
I guess that's fair. I just don't see where. Maybe we're just in the middle of it. I don't see the world resounding results of having the best, the gold standard of front office people. If you want to say that, like, is Joe Douglas a part of that? I don't think so.
Right now, no.
Is Andrew Barry really a part of that? I don't think so. I mean, there was a 1-year term where he came by and there was nothing going on. You're like, oh, I learned what the Eagles are doing. That'll help me get this job now. You know, like, I get it from that perspective. I do think you're going to steal other people's ideas a lot of the time, the more talent you cultivate through here. And then, just like Bill Belichick and everybody else, and here's why I'll give Howie credit, he knows exactly when to get rid of you. And I don't think that has there been a large mistake coming out of the front office ever? Have they missed out on their next general manager leaving?
Oh,
I can't remember a name that's been like, should have held on to him. Joe Douglas was the first initiation of that, and so far,
yeah.
I mean, he had a great
man.
draft this year. Fantastic.